Okay, we've had our fun. Okay,
That
I'm
food
kind of
there
getting a
looks
hang
pretty
of it.
tasty.
Yep, we can fix that new recipe with it.
I eagerly await the final result.
Kind of getting the hang of it now. Like the bigger ones, like this, like I don't know. If you see like more than one type of fish, just like try Y to lure it over. Like A seems to work on the smaller ones. All right, let's see if that dude is pleased with our fishing skills. Okay, so we never got to the point where we could fast travel. It's probably down there. Don't want to do that. Vicent. This is about as good as we can get it. So that means we have to fish sea bream in order to cook that experience recipe, which is kind of
That was
annoying.
quite the little adventure we went on.
Hopefully that guy is cool, because I don't really want to have to go back and fish more. But that's how they get you, man. If they're hiding like power progression behind fishing and shit, then you have to do it. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to get super strong characters, you're going to want to do it. Oh, you don't like fishing? Well, what if I told you there's a title behind it that gets you a new move and stronger skills? Oh.
Okay, off we go.
Okay. I guess I'll do it. Don't worry, I ain't gonna fight you unless you're a golden enemy. Any golden enemies around here? No. Hey,
A fish!
fishing dude.
You saw it too, right?
A fish-shaped lure, optimal midway underwater. It moves gracefully, attracting rough, wild fish. Five, huh? Let me give you a little something. Portly mudslinger, a rotund lure that mimics mud-swimming fish. Supposedly to a fish's eye, it looks delectable. Overseer Hill, Frozen Valley, Nivira Snow Plains. You've yet to catch some fish. Okay, 4 more. Okay, thank you. If this is something I have to do, I'll do it later. Whew, you're a lifesaver. Now I can get back to my miss. Sorry, forget I spoke. Carry on, don't mind me. Mission, I'm guessing. What mission is that?
Healing arts can do.
Just doing my...
Just doing my part.
Hey. Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicent.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely.
Like
I was
extending
always ready
long
to protect
protein
him should the need
strands.
arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully
Jeez,
used
just
to it.
stop being a slave, forehead.
I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I
We
hate
have?
those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
Oh.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
Kill them.
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Can we move forward?
Dohalim's fighting style is... what's the word I'm looking for? Subdued? No...
Do you mean elegant, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the word. For better or worse, you can definitely tell he's cut from posh Renin cloth.
And he's not just skilled with the staff either. He can also use astral arts, including healing ones. I can see how he made it to the position of a lord.
You flatter me, but my fighting techniques merely come from a style that aims to conserve energy by minimizing body movement.
Is that why you wait
Yeah, well,
until
it's
the
still
last
cool.
second before you dodge attacks? To avoid unnecessary movements?
No, I do that to sharpen my senses. I find that doing so is an effective means of drawing out my innermost strength.
Oh yeah, I've noticed you look stronger and strike out with your rod more after you dodge attacks. Guess that's why.
Still, it's a risk. Don't you ever worry you'll dodge at the wrong moment?
Then, it'll be just as well.
Huh?
It's nothing. Let us continue.
I deserve to be killed because I killed my friend. I'm never gonna let that die. I'm not gonna let that, what's the word I'm looking for? Live it down. Literally. Never gonna let you down. Should I always have something cooking up in the barn? And if I have the money, I might as well. I just checked that, so let's cook some more beef stew, shall we?
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
Oh.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Are you asking if I noticed that it's form-fitting? Well, the answer is yes. How could I not notice?
This is a true masterpiece, no less than culinary art.
Yes, yes, you're quite charming, I get it.
Kisara, let's talk
Well, I
for a
have to
bit.
pick Kisara.
Sorry for rambling on so much about my past earlier.
Don't sweat it. It was fun hearing you reminisce about the good old days.
Come on, you don't have to pretend with me. I know I can tend to go on sometimes when it comes to my
Really,
brother.
it feels like we've barely been
You
with
said
each
it,
other,
not
so
me. Anyway,
it's hard
I
to
don't
know
think
what
it's something
personality
for you
traits
to
you
be
possess.
embarrassed about.
Hey, Alphen. When you were a kid, was there ever a time when you had to bury someone younger than you?
Well, it's hard
Pretty
to say.
hardcore.
I'm guessing that you have, though.
Yeah. During the previous crown contest, with the Lord before Dohalim. Life back then was truly hell. I think that's why I tried to ignore what Miguel was telling me for so long. Because I was afraid of going back to such a dark time. Of losing hope. I wanted to believe in our paradise so much that I doubted the one person I should have trusted most. I don't blame Dohalim for that. I simply didn't want to face facts. And I ended up trying to project my ideals onto everyone else.
It's strange. Whenever you and Dohalim talk about Menancia, it's always like it's some big failure. We're talking about fixing 300 years worth of damage here. Isn't it a bit optimistic to think it was all going to be resolved after only 5?
You might be right. Maybe it was a mistake when Menancia... No. When I decided to stop seeing the darkness in our society. I have to admit the truth. To myself, first of all. I'll take watch tonight. It's okay.
I mean, if I'm going to pick favorites.
Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Alright, where's this way? Unlike similar groups, its goal isn't revolution, but rather
Something
to
feels
explore
odd
or
here.
something.
Be on your guard.
Mount Dihara.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about
I
you,
don't know
Alphen?
my past,
You
so...
were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One
Wow.
of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
What
I
are
know
the
that
odds?
once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
Yes.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers.
Oh.
For
Way to
you,
bring
it
down the
may be a
mood.
simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know,
True.
somehow that someone always ends up being a Danan, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danans in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danans in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Yeah, thanks, kid. Now we have to hear them talk for 50 million years. Hey, new kind of enemy, perhaps? 27? Now we're talking. You seem to be doing fine.
All yours, Kisara.
We did it!
Magnificently done.
Resonate with the dark. Magic is in here. Rip it. This will come in handy. On your knees. Here goes. Up and up.
Oh, now I'm real mad.
Come and get it. All in order. Air thrust.
Rip and tear. I'm on a roll now. I'll crush you. Lightning reflexes. Tenebrous claw. I'm even
500 experience. Inhibitor crystal. Inhibitor ore. Nuts. Whoa, look at these dudes. This is a pain.
All right.
But times I'll deploy my secret weapon. Tutorial. Grows vines from the ground to ensnare enemies and strike them. Fleet-footed enemies. Well, we could have used that against the monkey, couldn't we have?
There's nowhere to run from my arts.
When he slows down, that's our chance.
I'm on it. I'll run you through. Look sharp. One more. Eat this. Tiger blade. Hurricane strike. Unguard.
Okay.
I'm on it. Take this. Eat this. A new melody. You're done. I'll tear you apart. Take this. Swallow this. I'm just getting started. Going in. Catapult.
Raging cascade.
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah. And the pummeling to me. Resonate with you.
When fast enemies like wolves or monkeys appear, send in Dohuli. Boost attack. I don't know. If Mom fed them this morning, then don't.
Eat this. You're done. I'm just getting scared.
Dance in the wind.
I'm on it. Take this. I'll run you through.
This will
Swallow
come in
dance.
handy.
Rip and tear.
One more time.
Eagle dive.
You require a
Elusive deity.
Oh, he did attack me. I just didn't notice it.
Look sharp. I'll tear you apart. I'll grind you down. Dance. One more. Elusive deity. Going in. You're done. Watch this. Dust to dust.
In here.
Swallow dance.
There with the others.
I'm on it. You're mine. I'm on it. Elusive deity. I'll run you through.
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malika!
You still stand.
light burst forth.
Radiant Denison.
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine this sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renin who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renins have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course.
Crocodile Crusher. This worn-down hammer was used to beat back crocodiles. Those skilled enough to dual wield with it were lauded as champions. Artifacts confer special effects simply by having them, some of which serve as bonuses that can be enjoyed after clearing the game. You can toggle each of these effects on or off from the artifact list. I was wondering when we were going to learn about that. Oh, look. Control F. You can set 6 additional arts. Press Y on the art screen to switch between panels. Arts that are set to the second panel can be executed by pressing left trigger. Okay. Oh, we finally got a second set of arts to work with. Okay. I was complaining about that earlier. Who's who? Who's what? Excuse me, sorry. Well, we'll work on it.
I sense a strange power from this. This should make for some good weapon crafting material.